Is there anything the Seattle Seahawks can do to shore up the nose tackle position before the 2025 season? What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well on this Sunday. And I made a video talking about the cornerback position, the depth needed potentially at cornerback. So I figure it's time to make another similar video about another position on the Seahawks that I have some concerns with, some issues with. To be perfectly honest, of the positions on the Seahawks defense, this is probably the one I am most concerned with, and it's also probably the one that is most difficult to take care of, if anything needs to be taken care of. There's certainly an argument to be made that we're good. I'm going to go through that argument, and then I'm going to consider the other side of it, and then wonder, can anything be done about it? So we're going to be talking about nose tackle today, and honestly, in terms of the main unit of this defense, this is the only position that I have questions about right now. I granted, we don't have a superstar edge rusher, but I like our edge group. We've got some really good players at the 3-tech spot, or the whatever you want to call it, the defensive tackle, the whatever terminology you want to use, a Big Cat, Reed, Murphy, however you want to qualify that. Things are looking pretty good there. I like our linebackers and I like our corners. I don't really like our depth, but at the same time, you are going to be depending heavily on your starters no matter what. So we just happen to be depending on our starters more heavily than a lot of other teams. Safeties look good. I think this defense is going to be ready for some stuff in 2025. There's just one position I'm not so sure about, even before you get to the depth, and that is nose tackle. So let's talk about this today. Please click the thumbs up button on this video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Click the bell for notifications. Become a channel member for $2 a month. Those are the best ways to support the channel. So as of right now, on my depth chart, I have our nose tackle position going Byron Murphy starting, Jonathan Hankins backing him up. However, we have already heard Byron Murphy say that he's expecting to play a lot of defensive tackle 3-tech this year. He's expected to do a lot more rushing the passer than he did in 2024. So if that's the case, well, I like this better. You stick Murphy down here, you stick Reed there, and there. That is an alignment that I think could work. However, even if this is the case, and there's no guarantee that's the case, right? I mean, Byron Murphy said it, which is awesome, but him saying it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to end up being true. And is this okay? Even if it does happen the way that Murphy is describing it and he gets most of his reps at 3-tech, does this alignment work for the Seahawks in 2025? Jarran Reed as your starter and Jonathan Hankins as your backup. So Jarran Reed is obviously the linchpin here, because just to talk about Hankins real quick, I mean, look, Hankins has been a good player in this league for a while now, but he is getting up there in age. And last year, I think we saw pretty firmly what he is as a player right now in this league. He was graded terribly by PFF. Not saying PFF is always right, but they thought starkly negatively about him. So they didn't like what they saw with Hankins, mostly because they thought he was an incompetent run defender, which is what you need to do as a nose tackle, by the way, for whatever that's worth. And he was only getting about, what, not even 25 snaps a game. He played 389 snaps on the season, and you can see a majority of those, pretty significant majority, was run defense snaps. So he was already getting pretty decent amount of rest during games. 390 snaps, 340 would be 20 snaps a game, so not even 25 snaps a game. And he was already looking like he was pushing through it. He was laboring through it to my eye. And PFF backs that up. So to me, I'm looking at Hankins and I'm going, okay, your best case scenario for 2025 is that he gives you 20 competent snaps a game. And that's the best case scenario. Like 20 competent snaps a game is the best you can hope for here. So this is not somebody that I want to start, and this is not somebody I want to be giving 30, 35, 40 snaps a game. This is somebody who I want to be rotating in off the bench, or even if they're technically starting, I don't want them playing big snaps is the point I'm trying to make here. So with that in mind, Hankins hopefully will be good depth. Hopefully. There's no guarantee of even that. But Jarran Reed, can he do it? We haven't had him do it very much lately. He hasn't been doing a lot of nose tackle stuff. Ever since he rejoined the Seahawks, people have been saying, oh, he's going to be the nose tackle. He's moving back to his position at Alabama. And we haven't seen that much of it. So I think that according to PFF, he played like 18 snaps at nose tackle last year in 17 games. Maybe it was 16 games. Something like that anyway. So not really. And I do know that PFF sometimes misestimates whether or not a player is in A gap or B gap. They have some gap in their understanding there. Pun not intended. Like there's whatever methodology they use had Murphy only lining up at nose like 66 times last year, and he definitely lined up at nose more than that. So there is a gap there, but I do think it's accurate to say that Jarran Reed is not really playing nose tackle snaps for this team. But if you've got Big Cat at 3 tech and you've got Murphy backing him up, where else is Reed going to play? The question is, at his age, with the miles on his body, can he still do nose tackle work? That's the thing we don't know. That's the thing we don't have a great understanding of right now. So that being the case, what else can be done? I want to make this video to explore that, but I'm just going to say it. The answer is not a heck of a lot. I pulled up Spotrac's page for free agent defensive tackles as of right now, and you can see how short this list is. 15 players on Spotrac. So none of these players can be expected to be all that effective, even if you do sign them, or else they wouldn't be available. And most of them are not nose tackles. Most of these guys are 3 techs. If you take a look at this collection of players, I think 3 of them could be described as nose tackles. One is Raekwon Davis, and he's the guy who's in his prime. He's the guy who's about to turn 28, so maybe that's the most interesting one. But he's coming off a year where PFF thought he was just as bad as Jonathan Hankins. And he also played only 350 snaps. It's not like he was getting overworked. So if you take a look at something like this, you're like, probably not. Right? You go back to 2023, graded better, did play more snaps. Okay. Maybe last year was a little bit of a fluke. I guess there could be something here, but there's a very reasonable chance he is just a younger Jonathan Hankins in terms of his effectiveness. And I don't think that stacking low-level backups is going to add up to one good player if you keep stacking. I don't think that's a practical solution here. So Raekwon Davis, I mean, that's probably the most appealing option here is the thing. You've got Linval Joseph is your next guy, 36 going on 37-year-old nose. Been on a bunch of teams in his career. I don't think he's announced his retirement yet, but you wouldn't exactly call his 2024 season with the Cowboys particularly memorable. PFF didn't like him very much, and he played about 15 snaps a game, maybe 16 or 17 snaps a game on average. So it's not like he was getting overworked. He just didn't play all that well. So you go back to 2023 with him. Not that this is a very good exercise when he's already this old, but PFF grade's even worse, and he played less than 10 snaps a game on average. So there's not a lot here. And the only other guy that I think could even do an imitation of a nose tackle for 2025 on this list is Armon Watts, about to turn 29, formerly of the Giants. I mean, he's a little undersized as far as nose tackles go. He was graded okay by PFF last year, but he didn't even play 100 snaps, so it's not even really a meaningful sample size. And you go back to 2023, okay, better, but still not even playing 20 snaps a game on average. And I know he missed games. I know it's not literally less than 20 snaps a game, but over the course of a full season for the team, it comes out to, what, 17, 18 snaps a game or so. Okay, that's a little bit more appealing, but again, you had to go back to 2023 to find that. 2024, he barely played, and what he did play was not particularly memorable. So that's it. Like, I don't think any of these other guys are really nose tackles. I don't even know if Linval Joseph is a nose tackle at this point. He's so old, he might not be able to handle it if you asked him to. And, I mean, this is the problem. This is why I advocated for drafting a nose tackle in the draft in April, because there were a lot of them. It was a good nose tackle draft, and it's really not that hard to take care of. You just have to do something, right? You just have to go out there and put effort into it, and you can take care of it. Nose tackles are not on the field that much, but they need to be out there playing good snaps to earn the right to not be out there very much. Because the idea is they're on the field for neutral downs and run downs. So if your defense can earn a lot of passing downs, 2nd and long, 3rd and long, they don't need to play. But frequently, you need the nose tackle out there playing well so that there is an opportunity for the defense to not have a nose tackle on the field. So it does irk me that we're in this spot right now. Now, the silver lining here is that the Jarran Reed idea is not, it's not completely out of reach, right? Jarran Reed was a great nose tackle at Alabama. He played a lot of 3-tech when he came to the NFL, but there is a belief, or at least was a belief, that Jarran Reed would be better served to move back to nose tackle in the NFL. And he's only gotten that opportunity seldomly, but when he has, it's actually gone fairly well. So maybe this is the solution, but what I'm trying to say in this video is there really isn't another one right now. If you don't like any of these options, and I kind of don't, maybe Raekwon Davis is the best I can do, but even that is not very appealing. You got to make a trade. And who are you going to trade for? If some team has a really good nose tackle, they probably really cherish him and they don't want to let him go. So I don't think you're going to trade for a good one, right? You don't want to trade for another Jonathan Hankins, right? You already have a Jonathan Hankins. I need somebody who can provide more valuable snaps. I need somebody who can provide some punch. And I think stacking guys like Raekwon Davis and Armand Watts and Jonathan Hankins and whatever random big guy you can scrounge up out there, not going to get you to where you want to get. At the nose tackle position, you don't need 65 to 70 okay snaps a game. You want 30 impactful snaps. That way the nose tackle doesn't have to be out there for more than those 30 snaps. Maybe you could even get that down to 25 if you're really good, but it requires that nose tackle you have out there to be very impactful. So fingers crossed for Jarran Reed. That does seem like the direction they're going to go right now. But if not, I don't know what the contingency is, right? Murphy is not a nose tackle. Maybe he can do it for a little bit, but he's wasted there. And quite frankly, I don't think he's that good there. I don't think that's his strong suit. And Hankins, the less he's out there, the better, as far as I'm concerned. Whatever little bit he has left will be best served in moderation. Honestly, I'd like to see him on the field for 15 snaps a game at most. Maybe even like 12. I'm not super high on this guy being the answer. But that's how things sit right now. Not a lot you can do. Let me know what you guys think about the nose tackle spot. In the way the NFL's changing, guys, I want to stress this. The NFL is changing to be more run heavy than it's been in a while. The Eagles just won the Super Bowl with a quarterback who has very minimal ability to attack the middle of the field because he's got the greatest running back in football, and the Eagles had the greatest rushing attack in football. And I think that kind of stuff is not just a one-off. It's representative of the fact that the league is about running the ball more than it's been before. So getting a nose tackle that can stop the run, that matters. All right. Everybody have a good day. Go Hawks. Maybe another video later today. If not, more stuff coming tomorrow. Mini camp soon. Have a great day.